So, Virtua Racing on the Sega Saturn. I've never played this version before, although I have owned the 32X version for 20-something years. Also, Time Warner Gaming. Kind of amazing to picture a company like Time Warner making video games, right? You think of the cable company and not a game creator? Press start to play. Okay. Ooh, I like this. Very unique loading screen. Arcade, practice, options. So all the menus look very different from the 32X version. Let's see what options. Players, what can watch, or if you want player difficulty. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at mode easy. Controller, what are my options? Up, down, shift, cockpit, float, acceleration, brake, fly. Ooh, I can fly in this game. I do like that the image kind of pops up and reconfigures itself. The soundtrack in this game is incredible. Wait, is it trying to load the soundtrack? Oh, there we go. So let's do load. Individual sound effects. What? He's got to load the audio. Oh my goodness. So soundtracks for these games are phenomenal. The 32X is what I'm most familiar with, and I probably spend the most time listening to. Okay, it's going to play. Go-kart. Yep, nothing. How about CD audio? There we go. All right. Nice, I like it. So, 32X version, you can find the soundtrack on YouTube. It is incredible and so much better than that of the Genesis. I've actually never listened to this soundtrack before. I'll have to give it a go. Okay, custom game. I don't know what this is. What the hell? Oh, show miles per hour. Yep, and this rotating radar. Yeah, mixed backgrounds, Grand Prix, arcade. I don't know what that is. Handicap, sure. Track movies. Yeah, why not? Award movies, sure. Team set 1. I don't know what that is. I wish they described what any of this stuff does. How do I go back? B is back. Okay, so let's go to arcade. It's got to load everything. Holy cow. All right. Ooh, I like it. So this sounds somewhat similar to the 32X version. Same track, I guess they just redid it here. Bay Bridge, San Francisco, Acropolis. Ooh. I think these are the same tracks, but just a different way they're presenting it from 32X. So, let's start with, let's start Bay Bridge, why not? And Gearbox. Yeah, let's do automatic. So when this first came out in Genesis, it absolutely blew my mind.
The Bay Bridge and prepare to scream on and off the freeways in that city by the bay. Welcome, racers, to the Bay Bridge Grand Prix, one of the 8 wonders of modern engineering. Better let out the parachute for a crazy little maze of exits and off-ramps. And if you're lucky, you'll make it back to the bridge to do it all over again.
Yep, so it's the same map as the Genesis and 32X version. Yeah, when I first rented this in '93 or so on Genesis, it has a slightly larger cartridge than most of the other Genesis titles, so that stood out to me immediately. But it has 3D polygons, which was pretty fantastic for the time. Switches. C goes. Okay. Ooh. Wow. So it doesn't actually have a continuous soundtrack. What happens is the brief bits of music will play just as you go to checkpoints and things. So often you may just hear your car kind of going off and like this. So yeah, for the Genesis version, it absolutely looked fantastic because it was one of the first games to make use of polygons. Whoa, way too fast. And 32X obviously improved on it. Wow, I cannot see where I'm going here. So 32X obviously improved on it. The draw distance seemed to go down with the 32X version, although the actual 3D models themselves are much sharper. You may also notice that there's no texture mapping on any of this either, so you just have polygons that are colored. Wow, okay. Oh, that's bizarre. X, Y, and Z. Okay, looks like these zoom in and out. It is just so hard to see what's coming up ahead of me. Doesn't control too bad. You know what I realized before? I didn't have the option to select the car that I was using either. On 32X, you have a standard stock car, you have this F1 Formula Racer, and you also have an additional prototype car, which is probably the fastest of all of them, I believe, but definitely has the best handling. I didn't see that option here, but what am I doing? And this is a peculiar game to release on the Saturn, I guess because Daytona USA was one of the launch titles, which had an absolutely rocking soundtrack. I think it had texture mapping as well. Actually, it must have had texture mapping. It had the Hornet sticker all over the cars. But the draw distance and pop-in was horrendous in that game. It was largely rushed out the door when it was ported from the arcade to the Sega Saturn to make way for Sega's early release of the system to compete with the PlayStation 1 in 1995. Okay, my car just kind of wiped out. Granted, the frame rate's actually pretty smooth in this. It looks like I'm getting not quite 30 frames a second, but it's hovering around 20, I suppose. I should probably dive into this with some diagnostics. I'm recording this from a Sega Saturn, which is going to a FrameMeister, which will upscale the video content. And then it's actually being recorded from an AverMedia Gamer Extreme card at 1080p, 60 frames a second. Wow, I got demolished. I'm not using RGB though. I don't have an RGB cable for Sega Saturn, so I'm still waiting for one of those to become available. Yeah, DAV, DAV, perfect. These games always had really upbeat, like melodies to go along with the game. Okay, maybe with practice I can change my car? Let's see. Because that'd be weird if the 32X version, which came out before this, you're able to change the car. Oh, here we go, perfect. Okay, here's the prototype. Whoa! F-160, here's a coupe. Yeah, these are definitely new. And a go-kart. It doesn't look like there's any formula car or a stock car. 90 miles an hour, 30 V-twin. Yeah. Team Lightspeed? I don't even know this stuff. Oh, it just changes the color. Let's go Team Apex. Perfect. Amazon Falls? Wow, this actually has new maps. What do you know? Let's try Diablo Canyon. 2 laps, that's fine for me. Arcade drones. I don't know what the difference is. Yeah, let's just go with this. Yeah, this mode is definitely unique, not in Genesis nor 32X.
Must have designed this U.S. track within this Grand Prix circuit. With its massive rock cliffs rising up from the floor of Diablo Canyon, this is one of the most treacherous courses on the tour. It starts deceptively easy with a few turns and a curious detour. I wouldn't use the helicopter view, or you'll look like sausage pizza against those rocks.
No helicopter view, otherwise I will look like sausage pizza against those rocks. All right then. So, I guess no helicopter view. I'll get close for this one. I've never driven the go-kart before, so I don't know what to expect. Brum, brum. Seriously? The sound of the motor never changes? Oh my goodness. Listen to that jazzy soundtrack. Okay. Yeah, this is peculiar because, whoa, actually just took off. Yeah, so the cart just has that annoying brum 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 the entire time. Checkpoint. Yeah, there's the music. So a lot of these tracks definitely have not appeared in the 32X version, which I'm by far the most familiar with. This game actually also appeared on PlayStation 2 for Sega Ages, which is like a compilation pack of old Sega arcade games. But the game was completely redone for that. It was an interesting aesthetic because it still retains a lot of this odd, old 3D looking view, but at the same time, whoa, there we go. But at the same time, it's a bit updated. Still no texture mapping. Soundtrack was redone. So I'm not necessarily sure if someone want to go back and remake this game, but each their own. Dun, dun, dun. Let's go the other way. Oh no, pit stop. Okay, so now you see what the pit is about. I can stop, we'll change my tires. I honestly have no idea if this changes anything. Oh, I'm not even pressing anything, and you still hear that sound from the motor. There we go. I guess it was a bug that I hit before. I paused the game, and now it's better. Okay. Well, that's comforting. Before, it's just very on. Yeah, so not much going on in this game. Like I said, big visual improvement over 32X, surprisingly. That system only had 30 some odd games for it released, maybe 40 in total. But still, it's nice to see that the graphics were somewhat improved. This is definitely not my kind of thing. Yeah, there we go. I mean, the pop-in is pretty horrendous for this too. You can see, the draw distance is somewhat weak. And again, Daytona USA improved on quite a bit of this. Plus, that game had a greater sense of speed too. So I'm not really sure, how this fit into Sega's repertoire. Can you just quit this? You can't even just quit a map. You know what? I'm gonna go the high view helicopter style. Ooh, someone wiped out over here. This kart is way more responsive than that of the Formula One car. I'll tell you that much. L and R. I guess to change gears. Ooh. Game over. Let's do it all. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go. Let's change cars one more time. We'll do a different lap. I guess Grand Prix is where endurance would kind of come into play. I'm probably going to want maybe change my tires over time. I don't know if there's any effect. Also, who do want to do this many laps? Yeah. I want to do the coupe. Yeah, I'm going to go manual transmission this time. Team Shred, yeah. Let's do Metropolis, yeah. Let's see what this opening video has to look like.
Rising sun, where they know precision, discipline, and engineering. In short, they know racing. These roads are going to be a true test for what's under the hood because they're wide, they're fast, and they're forgiving. So if you get the lead, better stretch it or lose it. And don't hit the sake till you're in the winner's circle.
Oh, don't hit the sake until you're in the winner's circle. Yeah, I love the soundtrack for these virtual racing games. With other Saturn titles, like Daytona, I know you can put it into a CD player, and because it's made with Red Book audio, it'll just play as though it's an audio CD. So I should try this out in the car. Oh, I gotta change gears. Oops. I forgot that I went for a new transmission this time. So left and right bumper actually would switch gears. This map is new for this game, as well as this car. Oh, the clipping is terrible. I can just see right through walls. See that Saturn symbol? Okay, ooh, terrible polygon model. Sometimes it's actually hard to even tell where this thing is pointing. Okay, left. Whoa, that's tricky. I see what you did there. rockin' soundtrack. Sometimes it goes between some jazzy little thing, other times it is very much like rock and roll. Looks like this is a max speed for this car. I'm curious to see if the same team who worked on the Genesis or 32X versions also worked on this. The Saturn logo again. Whoa! I mean, I suppose at the time this was groundbreaking, but having played the Genesis version and seeing polygons on that seemed groundbreaking at the time. This kind of falls in the same vein as Virtua Fighter 1, which was less than pleasing. I have another video on Virtua Fighter 1 on the Saturn, the original, not the remake. So if you want to take a look at that, check out my YouTube channel. Ooh, sounds like a Tommy Tallarico jam over there. You know, I should reach out to Brett Elston at VG Empire and see if he'll do an episode on virtual racing. Great soundtracks. Let it go! Okay, not fun at all. Okay, I'm just getting absolutely decimated over here. Let me see if I can go back to arcade, which I guess just has that Formula 1 car. Right? I didn't see an opportunity to switch vehicles before. Did Bay Bridge? Did it? Acropolis? Yes, do this one. Let's try this out.
Bored?
Is every map hard?
Think you're an
It looks
expert?
the last two maps
How
look like they
about
were hard.
flinging some octane at the Acropolis? This little gem is a real driver's track.
A real driver's track. Okay. Kind of curious as to how they made this little loading scene. I think I much preferred to see a loading bar, like a progress bar, instead of all this craziness, but to each their own. I hear people building my car. Go. Yep, this is in the 32X version. Although it sounds slightly different. Yeah, I mean, just the frame rate improvement is huge. I think the Genesis version only has the Formula 1 car as well. Whoa, okay. I have no idea what happened there. It dropped to about 1 frame a second. Look at those tires. They're not even smooth and rounded. They're just kind of like square blocks. I feel like I'm driving in a Flintstone car. Looks like cool sound effects for seagulls. Whoa. Okay. Finish one lap. I like it. I'll do one more lap and then I think I'm done for the day. Kind of wanted to give this a go. I do like that the skid effects remain on the track too. That's a nice little set touch. Look at sailboats. But again, no texture mapping or anything. You can't even see what's written on the flag until like the absolute last second. I mean, for the Genesis, I have no doubt this was, absolutely groundbreaking. The fact that it can draw on polygons. I mean, for the Super NES to do it, it needed that Super FX chip, which was added on a per cart basis. So you had things like Star Fox, which took advantage of it, as well as Stunt Racer FX and Yoshi's Island. I believe were the only 3 games that took advantage of it. The Super NES did have Mode 7, which allowed for rotation and scaling of sprites, but for 3D, it required that FX chip. But Genesis, on the other hand, no additional hardware needed for 3D. But I don't know how many games actually took advantage of it. I think, let's see, Virtua Racing. There was Virtua Fighter, but maybe Virtua Fighter 2 on Genesis, but that was just 2D sprite based. Dun, dun. Sounds like a country song. All right, that's it for me. I've had enough of this game. So until the next time, folks.